Hello, everybody, and welcome to Baby Triplets. So, what I'm going to be doing, happy Saturday, by the way, everyone. I hope you all are having a wonderful Saturday. So, what I'm going to be doing on this video, first, for those of you who are new, welcome to my channel. And I am on a reborn pregnancy journey, in case you get kind of confused when I start talking about certain things. So in order to catch up, you have to go back to my previous videos in order to know what's going on. So, but for those of you all who have been here, um, you already know that I'm on a reborn pregnancy journey. So I'm wearing a maternity top today. It has little Tweety bird on it and a little pocket, and it's short sleeve. And I'm going to be chit-chatting with you all and giving you all a few baby tips while I dress baby Jessica. Now, let me just say this. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and get the tips out the way right now. I'm going to be getting her dressed. When I left off with you all yesterday, I had gave her a bath, so I wanted to get dressed and get her dressed while I'm talking to you all. And while I'm doing that, I'm heating her up a bottle because when I finish dressing her, she's going to be ready to eat. So this is one little tip. Um, if you don't have a bottle warmer, or if you don't want to put your bottles in the microwave or heat it up on the stove in hot water, you can just get some kind of deep container or bowl, put very hot water in it from out the sink, and then just set your bottle in it, and it will warm up the milk. And when you take it out, make sure you shake it up so that it distributes evenly. Okay? Or you can boil a pot of water on the stove if you have a glass bottle and put that in there. That's an old school trick with the glass bottles. Back in the day, back years ago, they didn't use plastic bottles for newborn babies. It was always taught to me that you had to use glass bottles. So things have changed now, and you'd be lucky if you could find a glass bottle in anybody's store. But that was back when. But as far as me, I'm doing okay. If I'm chewing gum, I apologize. I told you all in my last video about the bad taste that I have in my mouth by me being reborn pregnant. Let's talk about symptoms. New symptoms. The newest symptom that I have is sore breasts, tenderness. Very, very sore and tender. That was not happening before. Now it is. Before, I was just having a bunch of cravings for pickles and ice cream and cookies. But now I'm experiencing very, very, very tender breasts. Okay. I was experiencing a little bit of nauseation, but not so much. Hopefully, I won't be experiencing too much nauseation because um, when you're very, very nauseated in your pregnancy, usually it's like the first 3 months, that you're nauseated, and then after that, the first trimester, and then after that, it pretty much supposed to go away. But that's not always the case. Matter of fact, while I'm dressing Samantha here. Oh, and this is Samantha, y'all. I apologize. Some of you all didn't see her yesterday, but this is baby Samantha. She has two little teeth at the top, and she has beautiful blue eyes. So you have to go back into the archives to find out how she came about, just to catch up a little bit. But yeah, I'll tell you about my pregnancy story on one of my youngest son, when I was pregnant with him. This is horrible. So if you're pregnant and you may be going through a little bit of something, sometimes if you hear somebody else's story, and it's worse than yours, it'll make you feel a little bit better about your story. Like, yeah, I feel bad, but whew, I'm glad I didn't have to go through what she went through. So I'll tell you that in a minute. But let me give you these little tips. So that was the first tip about the bottle. The second tip, okay? This is Johnson's baby powder. Now, if you want to use baby powder on babies, never put it in their diaper area, okay? Because they are trying to link cervical cancer, some cervical cancer, to baby powder. Back in the day, women would use baby powder to kind of absorb moisture, when it's hot, or just period, by your legs, being closed together, it gets kind of hot and moist, and they would use baby powder just to keep it fresh and cooled off. They're trying to link that to cervical cancer. So, and even, with little girls. I don't know about little boys, but I would just say do not use baby powder in a baby's diaper area. It's okay to use it up in their neck area, on their stomach, and on their back, like to cool them off in the summertime, but never in their diaper area, okay? So I'm just explaining the little tips before I get started. So I'm going to be using baby powder on her, but only in her neck and stomach area. One other little tip. I'm going to be polishing her little toenails. And this is purple polish because she's going to be wearing a purple outfit today. Oh, just a little purple dress. But I am going to put some little pink pants on under it. In a little bit. But as far as polish, make sure it's hypoallergenic for babies. It's probably best not to use fingernail polish on babies' little fingers because they keep them in their mouth so much. But you can do their toes, and then sometimes they do put their feet in their mouth. That's why if you use nail polish, it's best to get hypoallergenic. And that way it's safe for the babies. But she's not yet putting her toes in her mouth yet. So I'm going to polish her little toes purple to match her little outfit. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Let's start off with this baby powder. Okay, so my pregnancy story with my youngest son. He's 14 now. He'll be 15 soon. But when I was pregnant with him, and by the way, for those of you who don't know, I've had 5 actual pregnancies that I carried to term. And when I say to term, for those of you who may not have kids or don't know, I mean a full 9 months. But out of the 5, that pregnancy was the worst as it relates to how I was feeling, okay? I'm going to try to talk and do this at the same time because sometimes I talk and I kind of forget what I'm supposed to be doing. So, all right, so see, I just put that right on her little top area because I love the way Baby Johnson's baby powder smell. I love babies that smell like babies. But like I said, that diaper area stuff is not good. So I am going to put her diaper on, but no powder. So, 9 months worth of pregnancy. So like I was saying, you know, the first 3 months, the first trimester, it's supposed to be, you may have some nauseation, and then after that, it goes away. Well, mine didn't go away, okay? As a matter of fact, it never went away, okay? I was sick every single day for 9 months straight. Now, if you can imagine being nauseated and sometimes throwing up with the nauseation for 9 whole months. If you can imagine how tough that was. And I had other kids when I had him. Luckily, my other 3 kids that I had before him, because he has a younger sister, they were older. Because if they were like young little toddlers, it would have been really rough for me because, like I said, every single day. The only good part was, and I was working at the time when I was pregnant with him, so you can imagine how hard that is to get up and go to work and being pregnant and sick every day. But here's the good part about it. I was blessed in a sense. I would get sick every single day and I would be sick all day. However, when I was first, now usually when you get up in the morning, that's usually when you're sick. I would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning because I had to be to work by 8. I would be good for like the first 2 or 3 hours when I get up in the morning. After those first 2 to 3 hours, I'm sick for the rest of the day. Nauseated, feeling like I need to throw up, and some days actually throwing up. And I went through that for a complete 9 months. So the good thing about the fact that I was working is that, like I said, the first 3 hours of my morning were good. So that allowed me to be able to have enough energy and strength to get up and get my bath, get dressed, and go to work. Now, by the time I got to work and started eating my breakfast, like maybe a half hour after breakfast, like almost 9 o'clock, done. I'm done. Like I'm sick all day at work. But at least I was able to get to work instead of having to call out every morning or daggone near every morning because I'm sick. It's hard to get out of bed and get a bath and get dressed to go to work when you're nauseated and just feeling miserable. So I was sick. So that was the one thing that was going on, is that I was sick for the entire pregnancy. I'm going to put a little Gerber onesie on her. The other thing that went on while I was pregnant with him was that I had got gestational diabetes. So for those of you who don't know what gestational diabetes is another words for that is sugar. If somebody says I have sugar or diabetes, well, I had gestational, which means it came as a result of the pregnancy, and when the pregnancy was over, it went away. And that's generally how gestational diabetes go. It's usually if you get it because you're pregnant, it generally goes away after you have the baby. But some people, it doesn't go away. Luckily, mine came as a result of being pregnant. As soon as I wasn't pregnant no more, my levels went to normal, and I never had a problem since. And like I said, it's been almost 15 years since I had that child. I haven't had it since, so it was definitely gestational. So I had it so bad, though, while I was pregnant that I had to stick needles in my stomach every morning. A half an hour before I would eat breakfast, I would have to stick needles in my stomach. So imagine being nauseated every single day for 9 months and sticking needles in your stomach every morning. Now, I know that sounds gross, like, oh my God, sticking needles in your stomach, but actually, you pinch the fatty side of your stomach and do it there, so you're not poking the baby at all. Because I used to wonder the same thing, like, oh my gosh, you can poke the baby. But no, you grab the fat part of the side of your stomach and you do it, and it actually didn't hurt. The worst part was pricking my fingers, because I also had to prick my fingers every day, 3 times a day, to check my sugar level. So I was getting the insulin. It's called insulin. The needle that you put in your stomach with the medicine is called insulin. So I was doing that every day, plus pricking my fingers and taking my sugar levels 3 times a day. Okay, so that doesn't top it off. So now we got sick every single day for 9 months, gestational diabetes, and I caught the flu while I was pregnant with him. Oh my gosh. Now, for anyone who knows, who has ever had the flu before, you know the flu makes you feel like you are about to die, okay? Completely like just want to give up on life, like it's so bad. So imagine being pregnant with the flu. Your stomach is sticking out. I was about 6 months pregnant. Your stomach's sticking out. You're sick every day. Your back hurt. Your stomach hurt. The flu makes your whole body hurt even more. The worst part to me is the headaches that you get from the flu. And the sad part was, being pregnant, it wasn't really much that I could take. But they would allow me to take Tylenol. Luckily for that, because the Tylenol really helped me to get through the flu, with the headaches and the pain that came with the flu. But yeah, it was really, really, really bad. Okay, so sick every day, gestational diabetes, and the flu. Now, I, at some point, had a hard time going to the bathroom, moving my bowels. When you take iron pills, well, for me, iron pills make me constipated. You have to take iron and vitamin pills when you're pregnant. They made me very constipated, and I became, I couldn't go to bed. I couldn't have a bowel movement. It had got stuck. It was so hard and stuck that it wouldn't come out. So I had to go to the hospital at this was when I was like 7 months. And they had to impact me, which means they had to stick their hand up my rectum. I don't want to be nasty or gross or anything, but they had to actually literally stick their hand up my rectal and pull down the stool that was stuck. It was big. I lied to you. Now, I'm not trying to be gross, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of what was going on. The stool was like this long and about that wide. And when that lady, it was like 3 doctors that tried to come in and do it, and they couldn't get it. And this one lady came in. She was a short little, petite little nurse. And I was like, oh, thank God, because the other doctors, it hurt it. So I was like, well, maybe, she looked like a little innocent little, not so strong lady. And I was like, thank God. When I tell you that little doctor made me scream to the point that all the doctors came running. That lady went up there and she didn't care about the fact whether it hurt it or not. I guess she was just fed up, like, get out of my way, doctors. I'm going to get it. And she went up in there and she pulled, and I was in so much pain and I screamed and I was in so much stress behind that it actually sent me into labor. And mind you, I'm only 7 months, so I'm not supposed to have no baby. It made me go into labor once they got it out. So they had to give me some kind of medicine to stop my labor because it was too early. Thank God it worked, because sometimes you can get medicine to stop labor, and if a baby ready to come, it's just going to come. you know, it's tiresome just thinking and talking about it. So let's just run this down again. Okay. Um, Sick every day for 9 months straight. Every single day for 9 months straight. Okay. Gestational diabetes, giving myself a needle in my stomach every morning and pricking my fingers 3 times a day. The flu. I had to be impacted so that they could, make me go to the bathroom. Now, when it was time for me to give birth to him, my handsome little son, when it was time for me to give birth to him, here's Samantha. I was in labor for 26 hours straight. Now, by me having gestational diabetes, they had to check my sugar level every 30 minutes. So if you can imagine 26 hours in the hospital in labor, and every 30 minutes for 26 hours, they had to prick my fingers, okay? To test my sugar to make sure that it didn't rise by me being in labor and being in stress. They didn't want my levels to rise because that could be very dangerous. My fingers were so sore because they used every finger. They had to do, all my fingers like several times. Every 30 minutes for 26 hours. I had to get pricked and get my blood taken, and I was in pain, okay, for 26 hours. I got my epidural at the very last hour. They were giving me epidurals, they weren't working. So, that's my horror pregnancy story. Now, I don't want to scare anybody. I'm just telling my story. So if you're going through something while you're pregnant, just thank God that you did. That was the roughest pregnancy ever in my life, okay? So, all right, so there you have it. That's it, okay? And also, for those of you who know, y'all know that I have an orphanage called Rainbow Baby Nurseries or Orphanage, and I had 12 babies, 9 girls, and 3 boys. So that's just like a little synopsis of what's going on here for those of you who don't know. So when you go back into my archives and check out my other videos, you won't be surprised. Like, oh my God, all these babies, what's going on? Yeah, I'm running an orphanage over here. So if you like my channel and you like what I'm doing, with the babies and all that kind of stuff, then support by donating, okay? I have a fan funding set up on this channel, and all you have to do is click on the link in my description box, and you can donate if you want to support my channel, and I greatly appreciate it, and I thank you all in advance, okay? So there you have it. Samantha's all dressed and ready for her bottle. The bottle has been chilling, so it's nice and warm now, and there you have it. I'm going to feed her, and that's it, okay? Also, if you don't find the fan funding link in the description box, well, it'll be there, but sometimes, just in case, you can always go to my channel page, go to the part that says About, ABOUT. When you click on About, then you'll see a blue word that says Support, and you can just click on it from there. So either way, you'll get to it. So I thank you all for joining me, and have a good Saturday evening, okay? All right. Bye-bye now.